Hello, this is Miss Pat from San Luis Public Library. This week in Science Scouts, we're going to talk about invisible ink and how we can use acids and bases that we find in our home to make invisible ink and decode the message. So there are a lot of things in our life that are invisible, and today's story is going to be The Invisible String by Patrice Karst. Liza and Jeremy, the twins, were asleep one calm and quiet night. Suddenly, it began to rain very hard. Thunder rumbled until it got so loud it woke them up. "Mommy, Mommy!" they cried as they ran out to her. "Don't worry, you two. It's just the storm making all that noise. Go back to bed." "We want to stay close to you," said Jeremy. "We're scared." Mom said, "You know we're always together, no matter what." "But how can we be together when you're out here and we're in bed?" asked Liza. Good question. Mom held something right in front of them and said, "This is how." Rubbing their sleepy eyes, the twins came closer to see what Mom was holding. "I was about your age when my mommy first told me about the invisible string." "I don't see a string," said Jeremy. "You don't need to see the invisible string. People who love each other are always connected by a very special string made of love." "But if you can't see it, how do you know it's there?" asked Liza. "Even though you can't see it with your eyes, you can feel it with your heart and know that you are always connected to everyone you love." "When you're at school and you miss me, your love travels all the way along the string until you feel it tug on my heart. And when you tug it right back, we feel it in our hearts," said Jeremy. "Does Jasper the cat have an invisible string?" Liza asked. "She sure does," said Mom. "And best friends like me and Lucy?" asked Liza. "Best friends too." "How far can the string reach?" "Anywhere and everywhere," said Mom. "Would it reach me even if I was a submarine captain deep in the ocean?" asked Jeremy. "Yes," said Mom, "even there." "Or a mountain climber?" "Even there." "A ballerina in France?" "Even there." "A jungle explorer?" "Even there." "How about an astronaut in space?" "Yes, even there." Then Jeremy quietly asked, "Can my string reach all the way to Uncle Brian in heaven?" "Yes, even there." "Does the string go away when you're mad at us?" "Never," said Mom. "Love is stronger than anger, and as long as love is in your heart, the string will always be there." Even when you get older and can't agree about things, like what movie to see or what game to play in the back seat, or what time to go to bed. "Oh, that's right. You two should be in bed." And with that, they all laughed as Mom chased the twins back to their bed. Within a few minutes, they were asleep, even though the storm was still making the same loud noises as before. As they slept, they started dreaming of all the invisible strings they have, and all the strings their friends have, and their friends have, and their friends have, until everyone in the world was connected by invisible strings. And no one is ever alone. Okay, we are not going to make invisible strings, but we are going to make invisible messages. Okay, we're going to talk about how we can do this using acids and bases. Right, there are many things that are invisible to the eye, like the string, but are still there. Written messages can be invisible too. But how do we see them? Actually, not with a magnifying glass. pH, we've talked about this in the past, is the potential of hydrogen ions in a solution. The amount of hydrogen ions determines if something is a base or an acid. Okay, acids are items that have a pH of 0 to 6. They make you pucker your lips when you drink them sometimes. Okay, have you ever had a drink of lemonade and you go, right? It's really, really kind of sour. Coffee, grapefruits, oranges, lemon juice, those are examples of acids that we can drink or eat. Okay, even milk is slightly acidic. Okay, water is neutral. Water is a 7. That's a neutral. Now, sometimes the water might be a little acidic, but for the most part, it's supposed to be neutral. We don't drink hydrochloric acid. That would be battery acid. That's the kind of acid you probably see on cartoons where it melts right through the table. We don't drink that, obviously. But soda, grapefruit juice, tomato juice, lemon juice, vinegar, those are all acids, and we have some of those in our house. So we're going to use those today. Bases, also called alkalines sometimes, have a pH of 8 to 14. Most cleaning supplies, which we have in our house, like bleach, soap, those are bases. So is baking soda, and we use that in cooking. Okay, and we don't really drink any of that stuff. We do eat the food that we make with baking soda, okay, but we don't drink bleach or oven cleaner or stuff like that, right? Ammonia, we don't. So we're not going to drink our bases. We will drink some of the acids. We won't drink the bases, but we do eat baking soda. It doesn't taste very good. If you just take a spoon of baking soda, it tastes like powder, right? Tastes disgusting. Soap. Every time you guys wash your hands with soap, liquid soap, that would be a base. Nobody wants to wash their mouth out with soap, right? So those are going to be bases. They have a different pH. So there are several ways to write and decode an invisible message. We're going to use basic stuff that doesn't involve heat, because your parents have probably heard about lemon juice and an iron. We are going to use turmeric, which is a spice mixed with rubbing alcohol. Okay. And we're going to, so this is what I mixed it with, and this is turmeric. I'll show you in a moment. You're going to write your message with the basic solution. We're going to let it dry. We're going to decode it. And this is going to cause a chemical reaction. All right, so here's the turmeric. Just a spice. People will put it on their noodles, their meat sometimes, right? It gives it a different taste. If you come into the library, you're going to get one of these containers. It's already got 3 tablespoons of rubbing alcohol. Don't drink that. But rubbing alcohol and turmeric, it's going to make your little acid, your acid solution. And we're going to use this to decode our message. So what is our message going to be made out of? It's going to be made out of baking soda. All right. You all know what baking soda is. It's going to be made out of baking soda and water. That's it. Okay. Now you're going to get a spoonful of baking soda. You need to put it into a little cup, kind of like I have, some kind of a cup, with just 1 tablespoon of water. And then you need to stir it. Okay. And then you will write a message with a Q-tip. Okay, we're going to give you 4 of these. You could use this side, you can use this side. Sometimes the first couple letters, the first 2 letters might be really, really wet. And if you try and write a long word like science, By the fourth letter, it's not so much. You might have to dip it in every 2 letters. Okay, and you're going to write a letter. You're going to write it, and you're going to let it dry. Now, this is very dry. Okay, can't see anything. See that my paper is kind of wrinkled, and I can even hold it up to the window, and I still don't see what the message says. So I'm kind of hoping I pulled the right one because I made several. Like I said, this is going to be mixed. Might have to stir it a little or shake it a little bit before you open it because the turmeric powder likes to sit on the bottom. Kind of like chocolate milk, right? All the chocolate goes to the bottom. So shake it a little bit, take it off. Now, I do want you to see, before I open that I have my little paper on top of something else. You might want to put it on a towel. You might want to put it on a pan. Please don't put it on a white table. And you'll see why in a moment, because this is going to kind of stain. Okay, and then we're going to take a different Q-tip, or if you use this side for your message, you can use the other side for decoding. And all you're going to do is kind of go back and forth. Okay, and you can see, I'm going to turn it upside down so you can see it even better. Go back and forth. Now remember, you have to wait till it dries, but the turmeric powder here is interacting. Remember, this is my acid. It's interacting with the base. It's interacting with the dry baking soda that was on my paper. Okay, and there's my message. You didn't see that before. Now you might see some of these yellow spots here. Okay, again, it kind of, if it gets on a white counter, kind of hard to come off. It'll wear off eventually. Now I still have lots of baking soda. I still have lots of this, so let's make sure I close this up. And I can make lots of messages this way. The big thing is you are going to have to let this dry. Now, initially, when it starts drying, you can still see the letters because they're all kind of wet. And you might be able to hold it up and see the letters. Let it dry. So you might want to make your letters one day, make your notes one day or in the morning and then do it in the evening. Make it one day and do it the next. Or you can do it, give it to a friend with that. Just make sure that they know they have to do it on something else so that they don't get it all over the tables. Okay, and you don't need any heat, like lemon juice and irons. This is just using spices in the house, rubbing alcohol, and baking soda. And you guys can make messages. You didn't see this before, but thanks for coming. Hope to see you guys next week.